From bodybuilding, fitness, and figure competitions to certified EMT to healthcare IT analyst, Tagreed Zaky has been successful on every path she set her foot on. When faced with the challenges of motherhood and aging relatives, she joined multiple families to her own and created a space of love and support that will leave you in awe. Mirroring her own family experience, she created a company geared toward, in her words, uniting generations to ensure that no one walks alone. Please welcome the woman who leads with love first, Tagreed Zaky.
That's awesome. That's my story. It's to hear it put in that order is pretty amazing. It actually shows like how much I've actually grown from bodybuilding to being a mom to taking care of relatives that were taking care of me back in the days, you know? So that's pretty awesome.
That's you, and I know there's so much more to your story. I know you have hidden footprints, and you talk about uniting generations to ensure no one walks alone. Can you tell me what that means to you?
Yeah. So I've always been a person that held the elderly, anyone over the age of 60, and children, 13 and under. Those ages are almost, I wouldn't say forgotten always, but the hardest years of your life. They build you in the first 13 years of your life, and at the end is where you actually need someone to actually build you or to help you more.
Right.
And being close with my grandparents, I've always known that they always look to get comfort or just company from the elders or people who they used to take care of when they were children, and they're often forgotten, as well as a lot of children. Everybody works. A lot of children in the United States are part of foster care where their parents either one lose custody of them, don't want them, and those kids are forgotten. So Hidden Footprints is basically a poem, and the poem is basically when you think you're alone, God's walking with you. That's only why you see just one set of footprints. So with the nonprofit that I am organizing is I want to make sure that those two generations meet in the middle. It's so that no one's alone. No one's alone. I mean, I've had many parts of my life where I felt alone, where I didn't have someone to just talk to, someone to just cry to. A lot of people in those two generations need that. You forget to show emotion, or you don't have anybody to show emotion to, so you hold it in, you hold it in, you hold it in. So that's a big part of Hidden Footprints, is to make sure that even when you think you're alone, that you're never alone.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of people, and even in my own life, I've felt alone, and I know that everybody goes through a phase in life where they feel alone. What would your advice be to people who feel lonely or feel alone and they don't have anyone to turn to at the moment?
I can say recently, turn to a devotional. Um, every morning, a devotional is different. And as silly as it might seem that someone else wrote this book and they wrote it 2 years ago, it will apply to a portion of your life. If you don't have someone to talk to, I mean, I found a lot of friends that I reach out to via Facebook that I don't know personally. That it's a person who doesn't know your story that will just listen. And there's nothing wrong with just asking. Put it out there to a couple of your friends if you have. I mean, I have a group of friends that I can just shoot a blind text message. Hey guys, I just need an ear. You know, reading a devotional definitely helps, because even if you're not a person that attends church every Sunday and is not the perfect Christian, I'm not a perfect Christian, but I know that if I read something that pertains to the higher, which is God, who made us all, it'll help me. And I find comfort in just reading it. Just reading it, even on days when you don't have anybody to talk to, because sometimes the person you talk to is yourself. So you kind of just talk things out. I mean, if anyone was in my house at some time, like, "Hi, who are you talking to?" Me. I'm talking to myself, and we're talking through it. But get with people who have like minds, and it's hard to find that because everyone gets stuck in their own inner circle, and you feel so secure with my friends. You got to get some friends that are different than you. You got to get some friends that are doing better than you, like, so that you can actually look up to them. I always kind of close myself off to my high school friends or my best friends. They are, but I need somebody that's doing something totally different. So I can say, you know what, man, I want to own, this group home. I need to have some friends that own a group home. If I don't have friends that own a group home, I don't have anybody to talk to about it. So when I'm upset or, can't find my way or thinking of, well, what do I do? What do I do? It's because I don't have anybody to talk to about the same things that I'm dealing with. So my best advice would be read devotional. I'm telling you, if you just read it in the morning time, I promise you the first 3 sentences will hit home every day, every day. And reach out to strangers sometimes. It's nothing to be ashamed of to reach out to people that you don't know, because it's a voice that doesn't know your whole story, who really truly will listen to understand what you're saying and not just to respond to you.
Yeah. So I want to talk about your family unit. Your family unit is unconventional. Can you describe what that looks like?
Let's see. So it's so funny that no one truly understands the dynamics. I have a son. He's 9 years old. His father was married before, has 3 children, and an ex-wife. Then I have a daughter whose dad was married before and has 2 children. We kind of just co-parent. I've always been about, and it's because of my life as a child, that having a father in your life, no matter what extent, it could be super dad, mediocre dad, deadbeat dad, a dad, is important. So that has been like the biggest part, where I just need open-ended friendship. Now, I'm not saying that we need to all hang out together. We definitely can, but it needs to be open, where I can call you, you can call me. Your kids want to hang out with me, I hang out with your kids. And it's not, you don't see that a lot. It's, oh, I'm not hanging out with them. No, there's so much more to life. And for a child to have more love than less, why not? Why not? Yeah. And it's more so because I know how that feels to not have that part. Mm-hmm. So deep down, I want to make sure, I don't care what I have to do, you're going to have a relationship with your dad. I'm going to be friends with your dad, no matter what. There's days I might not like him. There's days he might not like me. But in the bottom line is that we're together because of one human being. Right. And that's, I mean, there are times when I have all the kids at my house. Like, we'll all go on vacation. Like, Tag, who's kids? Well, those are Christian brothers, and that's Lillian's brothers and sisters, and we're all just cool. We're just having fun. We're going on vacation. And people laugh all the time. I'm like, to me, it's normal. Mm-hmm. Because a child is a child, no matter where it came from. Right. And it's also a child that I'm going to take care of and try to do my best to be a good mentor. Or, I mean, obviously I'm not going to have the same relationship with my children as I do with them, but it's open-ended. Mm-hmm. It's, you need something and you hit up Tag, definitely.
That's awesome. And there are a lot of children that struggle with having one parent in the household. And as you mentioned, there are foster children that are struggling to even have one parent at all. But a lot of children have dealt with not having the father in the home, and you have made sure that not only do your kids have their father, but they have a whole big melting pot. What was your relationship like with your father? Did it mimic what you have going on now with your children, or was it completely different?
Oh, completely opposite. I'll say I'm 38 years old right now. Last time I physically seen my father, I was probably 7. Haven't heard anything from him. I've done little searches to try to find him, to try to just say, hey, you have a daughter. I'm kind of still alive. Like, I'm doing stuff, so totally opposite. When I was a child, we based on the district where we went to school in New York, We stayed with my grandmother during the week, and then we went to live with my mom and my father in a home over in Rockaway. So it was like a weekend thing. So my memories of my father are he used to bring like cheesecakes, and we would have like cookies from the local bakery. Like I have no memories of laughing, hugging. I can't think of any. I mean, I have a few pictures where he's basically sleeping and I'm just propped next to him for a photo op. Is what it feels like.
Right.
And that has driven me to make sure that no matter what, my kids have a relationship and a strong relationship with their dad and their side of the family, because I missed out on that. And that's something that affects your life step by step as you're growing up. And it didn't really hit me that it affected me as much until I had my own child. And then it was like a rock just like tumbled down on me that, wow, I didn't have that. I'm like, wait, so that's what it's supposed to be like? So your dad's supposed to want to hang out with you. Oh, wow. I mean, it's good because I actually had a grandfather who technically is not my blood grandfather, but you couldn't tell him any different. I'm not his first granddaughter. You can't tell him that I'm not his first granddaughter, because I was the first one that was inside of a home with him on a daily basis. And he actually is the one who showed me that no matter what, like you don't have to be related. Like the person can truly love the person you are because they choose to. And it was a choice for him to take on my mom when my grandmother had my mom, to take her on, and then to take on my mom's kids. Like not his blood grandkids, but took them on as if they were all his. Right. And that's like with that example is the reason why I'm more so any kid that I hang out with. You're gonna have a great time. You're gonna be disciplined, and you're gonna get love. And I take that on as a big job because of the example that he gave me, and to think that he wasn't even like truly my blood. He actually like loved me because of who I was and because he wanted to. So it was a choice. So all the kids I have friends and I hang out with their children and their kids want to stay over, and I played that role for them. It's because I want to show them the love that I didn't get from, and it all scales back to my dad. Or I have that relationship with my mom either. So now it's more so like it drives me even harder to make sure that any child that comes in contact with me knows love, knows discipline, and can say to you, yeah, Tag said she loved me. It's not a question of, I don't think she's ever said that. No, you've heard that a lot. I've texted you that. We wrote it down on a sheet of paper because those are things that I missed in my childhood, not having a quote quote biological father to do those things, and or my direct family, my mom, they didn't understand to show love. You know what I mean? Like I think maybe it's just how they grew up, or maybe it's an island thing, is that their way of showing love is you ate today,
right?
You have a house over your head, and you're good. And that's like their version of I love you, where through the years and just getting older, where I've learned that that's I love you too, but then no one knows it, because I think that that's expected. I'm a child, so you have to feed me. Well, you're supposed to. Supposed to feed me, supposed to shelter me, and you're supposed to make sure that I'm okay. But the big part is just knowing that you're loved and finding someone to see that example from and just getting it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've noticed a lot of times people will say to themselves, well, I made it through this and I turned out just fine. I turned out okay. And they'll recreate the lifestyle that they lived growing up for their children because they turned out fine. Like, hey, I got a job, I got a house. Yeah, my dad was missing or my mom was missing, but I turned out just fine. So if that's the case in my children's lives, who cares? It'll be fine. They'll be okay, which can be true. If the other parent does opt out and they don't want to be there for the child, yes, that child will still make it. but you see differently. You didn't recreate the same scenario for your children, though you weren't able to create the traditional family unit. You still created a family unit to where your children had not just the love of you and their biological dad, but just an overall umbrella. Why did you think that it was better to create the unit that you made opposed to recreate what you lived?
A big part is breaking a curse. Um, a lot, and I see it a lot in my family, is that we don't talk about a lot of things. And a lot of things that hurt all of us, we don't talk about. And the big piece of it is the word love is all of it. So, I mean, that was my thing. I mean, almost like the minute I got pregnant with my son is that I wasn't with my son's dad when I got pregnant, or when I found out I got pregnant, obviously. But the big part from that day was, no, I got to find a way to where we're okay and there's love from both sides, no matter what. And the same thing goes with, my daughter's dad. Is we were in a relationship, and as grown-ups, communication, but at the end of the day, you're my friend. Like, it's very important to me for them to see and get love, and not hear hate for the other person from each side. Like, that's very important, because even when you don't think they're listening even harder. Mm-hmm. Grown-ups disagree, of course, it's going to happen. Children disagree, that's fine, but the bigger picture is still a parent. It's still a parent. So, like, for me, the biggest part was to make sure that anything that I thought affected me throughout my life, I try my best not to do, and to go over and overextend myself on the other way, to make sure that they don't feel the hurt or know the pain that I felt, where there's enough pain that they're going to feel on their own. But if I can stop what I know hurts, that has to happen.
Yeah. So you mentioned not speaking ill of the other parent in front of your children. One thing I've learned over my lifetime is that when you speak ill of the other parent, sometimes the child can internalize that and make it to translate it to themselves, that maybe I'm just that bad, because they may have heard in the past, like, you're just like your dad or you're just like your mom. And then you hear them belittle that parent, and it's like, well, if I'm just like them, then does that make me a bad person? But I would want to ask you, even if they're hearing those things, and even if they're struggling with a parent not being around, how do they change their self-talk, what they tell themselves? Because you can believe that maybe I'm not worthy or I'm not good enough. Well, how would they go about changing what they tell themselves about their worthiness?
So that's a good point. At one point, my son kind of dealt with, I was traveling, and kind of dealt with, well, my mom's not here, and people would say it, like, well, your mom's not even here to help you. And he would internalize that, and then I would talk to him. I'm like, well, Mom, well, you're not here, so maybe you don't care. No, that's not it. So from that, I actually saw a video on Instagram one day of a father, and he had his daughter in a mirror, and in the mirror he had her saying "I am." So I was like, all right, like that sounds cool. So I listened to the video a couple of times, and I came home. I'm like, Christian, I said, you are amazing. I said, you are smart. I was like, you are the best son that I could ever ask for. So we started. I said, you know what? Tell me what you want to be or what you think you are. So he would always start with, I am cool. I said, that's right. I said, okay. And then the second verse he said was, I am powerful. And it kicked me, and I was like, I said, what do you mean powerful? Like, like a superhero? He goes, no. He goes, I can do anything I want. I said, all right. So every day on our ride to school, it's give me 3 I ams and 3 I'm gratefuls. And that actually helped his self-esteem a lot. Where he was growing out his hair, people were making fun of him in school. My son's not a tough guy. He's not about bullying anybody or saying anything back, but just building him up every morning, it helped him a lot, because when he came home from school, Christian, how you doing? I was like, I'm good. I said, why? He goes, because I'm powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm smart. I'm kind. And those I've now used them for myself. I mean, on my cell phone, when I in the front of it, I have I ams, and I have 12 of them. And
Mm-hmm.
I read these to myself, and I set a clock on my phone, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. And I sit and I read them. And they're basic reminders of who I am, not of what people have said that I am or what people might think of me. And that's very important. Um, that's a big part, is just making sure that kids believe in themselves and don't allow what people say about them stick so hard, more so what they say about themselves, that stick more, you know.
Right. Yeah. Your self-talk is very important. And I actually do IAMs with my son. Every morning when we're on our way to school, it's I'm grateful for, and then will claim something like, today I will do well on my test, or I will get this deal that I was looking for. We will claim something. And it's important to speak life into your children. It is super important to speak life into yourself. You know, I had a post the other day where I had a video, and it says the man that says he can and the man that says he can't are both usually right. And it's true, because from the moment you said you can't, you lost.
Yeah.
Your brain believed you. Your brain doesn't know
Mm-hmm.
the difference in if you're telling it a lie or not, if you're saying something just because. When you said you can't, you lost. So you have to say you can. You have to say the I ams. I am beautiful. I am smart. I am strong. I am capable. You have to do those things. And you have to speak life into your children like you do. They believe you. We're their first little conscience. So if you tell them you're bad, you're not smart, or you're not good at math, or you're not good at language arts, they're going to believe that, and they'll start telling themselves that. So you're their first inner voice. And as they grow, they need to learn to be a good inner voice for themselves. You mentioned with Christian that you had to explain to him that, you weren't going to be home all the time, but we didn't dive into why. Where were you going?
Okay. So my job takes me all over the United States and sometimes Canada. I'm an electronic medical records analyst. So what that basically is all the hospitals now are transferring from paper to computerized medical records, as well as, the orders and all that. So what I do is I teach the physicians how to use a computer system, and as well as teaching them when the hospital actually goes live with the whole system, the physicians and nurses, techs, and all them, they still need help and assistance with the program because they're still caring for patients. So basically what we do is we're elbow to elbow with the nurses and physicians to teach them, okay, this is how you would place that order. This is where you're going to find that. If different things are wrong, we take it back to analysts and we encrypt whatever needs to be encrypted and make it the way how they had it back when they had it on paper. So basically it's taking contracts from hospitals all over the United States when they're changing from one system to the next, and or going from paper to their first electronic medical record system in the hospital.
That's pretty cool. I actually had never heard of that before. Before I heard of you doing it.
Right.
And it has you traveling all over the place. That sounds pretty cool. How do you get into something like that?
So I actually was working at a doctor's office because I'm an EMT, and they were going up live with theirs, and he needed someone to train his staff. And I was like, hey. So got certified, and I basically, instead of just working just for the physician's office, now I can work for myself, where hospitals, instead of them taking support staff from their hospital system, they then consult other consultants to come in and train instead of taking their employees and taking them off the floor. I mean, it's an amazing job. I meet some of the most amazing people, life-changing nurses that, I mean, when you see doctors and nurses and you're working side by side, it's like you're the nurse and you're the physician too. I'm helping you save this person's life. I'm here for a whole month. You watch people come in, I mean, heart attack, almost gone, to walking out with their families or their kids. Like it literally is like almost like a push of like positive, like every day when I go to work, because you see someone's life change. I mean, like literally with medicine. And I mean, some of these doctors are so amazing. I mean, gosh, I mean, they're they're just so smart. And sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, how do you remember like all these stuff, that goes on? But to them, it's like second nature. Where to me, doing the computer system is second nature to me. I can close my eyes and I can show you what to do, but I can't diagnose a patient. So actually getting to see them just save lives all day, it's amazing. It's
That sounds
absolutely
amazing. That sounds amazing.
amazing.
How's it been during the coronavirus? Because I know a lot of people have been working from home and whatnot. What's your job been like since this?
So mine, we basically stopped. So all the hospital systems since the coronavirus started in March, well, since it was publicly known in March, no hospitals were implementing any computer systems. They weren't changing anything. They weren't updating. So most of us have been off. So luckily, I've actually been able to be home, which was really awesome because I could do the whole homeschooling stuff, and that was pretty cool. We're going back to work soon. End of this month, we're back on the road, but I mean, everything will be changed. I mean, some parts of our training won't be us flying out to physicians' offices. I'll be sitting at home and I'm going to talk you through over the computer. Mm-hmm. So I mean, COVID has changed the way how a lot of things work. I don't think we've seen exactly how it will affect us in full, but the next couple months here, we're going to see. I mean, a lot of jobs are going to be, people are going to be at home. I don't see us going back in full force. I mean, we usually would go 100 or so of consultants going into a hospital to where nurses have someone side by side to ensure that they're being able to take care of the patients, but we're here helping with the computer system.
Right.
So it's definitely going to be very interesting to see what it's like to go back to work in July because we're going to be masked and, fully covered. And it's not going to be as, how we would say elbow to elbow, where I'm literally at the elbow with a provider. I'm going to be far away from you. I'm not going to be able to directly point at your computer to show you exactly where to find this information. So there'll be challenges, but I mean, with anything, you make it work. We got to still do our job, and patients still need somebody to help physicians out. So it'll be fun though. It'll definitely still be fun. Just a little bit more challenging though, for sure.
Yeah, such is life. How did you get in this field at all? I know you were at a doctor's office, but how did you get into IT? Is it a love of yours, a passion of yours, or did it just fall in your lap one day?
I love medical. But when my grandfather had a heart attack back in, 9/11, and his promise to me was that he didn't want me to be on the fire engine because it wasn't safe. I was like, all right. So once the physician's office actually wanted someone else to teach them how to do it, I said, you know what, maybe I could do this. I said, I can still be in the medical field, but not be hands-on.
So you were an EMT at the time?
I've always had the scare of, yeah. So I worked in a hospital, and then I worked for a private physician's office, family care. And then that's where I branched off into doing the teaching. And then I noticed that, hey, I can work for myself. It's okay. That's more independence. I'm not going to ask for a week off. You know what? I want to take a month off, and I can take a month off, or I can work straight for 6 months. So it gave me more leisure to come and go as I please because I had my son. And I know that I didn't want to do the whole work from 7 o'clock to 7 o'clock and see my son at bedtime and that be my norm. Where I kind of took it back, say, if I'm gone for 2 weeks and then I'm home for 3, that's 24 hours every day. I'd rather do that than 2 hours at night. So it's kind of, you weigh out what's good and what's bad of it. But I mean, I can basically work for myself. So that's a big part too, is, I mean, just independence.
Yeah.
Not being stuck down to somebody else's schedule, I mean, we still have a schedule, once we sign contracts with the hospital, but if you don't want to, don't have to, because you're your own person.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Because I know I'm a mother as well, and schedules can be hard for parents, period, not just moms. It can be hard to come home at dinner and bedtime, and then you see your kids for 30 minutes to an hour in the morning, And then on Saturdays, you're supposed to be, I don't know, grocery shopping, cooking, cleaning. At what point do you hang out with your kid? You have to probably just drop everything else and say, you know what, right now I'm just hanging out with my child. But being able to have a more flexible schedule so you could have days on end is amazing. It's amazing. So what do you have planned for your future? What are your hopes for your future?
I would say my biggest goal right now is to build up this nonprofit. Um, it's always been a dream of mine, and I've slowly gotten little parts of it done. And now it's more of a driving force that I can see. I mean, with everything that's going on, is that those two generations are hit the most with all of this. So my ultimate dream would be that Hidden Footprints is something that's across the world, and the elderly are getting birthday cards. They're having little celebrations at their nursing homes, because I've been to nursing homes and there's lots of people that haven't seen a child in years. Mm-hmm. They haven't received a birthday card. They don't know what a Valentine's Day is. And yes, those are little small holidays that we've created, but they mean a lot because at one point in their life they celebrated those things. So I mean, that would be my ultimate dream, is to just be able to, every single nursing home in the United States, to just have little small events, pen pals with like foster kids, and they write them letters or make them little cushions. And I mean, I have this huge picture. If I can just get a group of people to just see like this vision and get it, I mean, it would be mind blowing to help all the elderly and the kids that are in foster homes, because not so much that like in those group homes, they have, people who take care of them, but it's not direct. You know what I mean? It's not, they're not seeing that, well, somebody's going to come paint my nails tomorrow. No, I want to have somebody that's going to say, you know what, Ashley, we're doing nails tomorrow and we're going to talk about your grades. And you have that conversation. Or the elderly. I mean, I used to hang out with my grandfather when he was still around. My grandmother's my rider, my great aunt. I mean, trust me, the elderly are going to tell you stories over and over again, but sometimes you just got to listen to them. I've heard sometimes the same stories 25 or 30 times, but it's something about them, their lives, that they just love to share, and having someone to just talk to, making sure that at every nursing home, they're getting 4 or 5 cards for their birthday, because that's something that they used to do when they were kids, or, having, cake, or seeing Santa. I mean, I brought Santa to the nursing home, and you would think these 80 and 90-year-olds were 8-year-olds. I mean, happy, excited, singing jingle bells, and I just can't wait. I know that it's coming, and when this Hidden Footprints hits, it's going to be something that will definitely change the world. Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. I'm a strong believer that we're all here for each other. That you're not here just to take care of you. You're here to take care of your fellow human being, whether they're children or elderly. And I love that you're taking care of them, and that's your goal. So your hopes and your dreams are big. They're huge, which I do love. Some people might say, dream a little smaller. Be a little more small scale. Why do you deny them that? Why do you turn that down?
No, you can't, because my dream is mine. God gave me my dream. So he put this thought into my head. No one can tell me that it should be smaller, because God said, Tag, you need to change every life of every elderly in a nursing home. That's mine. That's my purpose, right? And I mean, I've had a lot of people, oh, why don't you just do one nursing home? Why? There's thousands of them. There's thousands and thousands of people that, why not? Why not? And they say, shoot for the stars. Shoot, go. I'm shooting past the stars. Like, Catherine is taking me like beyond. We're going into space with math. I mean, I'm taking it. Like, you have to, because if you think small, I mean, you can't live inside of like a small bubble, because I mean, just with simple things. I mean, I have one child. I never thought I'd have another one. I have 2. Whoa, God gave me the responsibility to have 2 children. Wow, that's big on my back. But now it's like, okay, let's take it further. Tag, why don't you help these other kids too? All right. And whatever, like, your dreams come from somewhere. They come from God, they come from the universe. Somewhere, somehow, that came into your head. It's for you. It's for you. The hard part is finding people that think like you or believe what you're believing to then jump onto that and then make it something even bigger. So I tell people, never dumb down your dreams. Like, my son talks about being a race car driver and he's going to have this 6-bedroom house, a basketball hoop. I'm like, word, absolutely. Find a picture, write it down. Write it down. Write down. You want a basketball hoop? Okay. You want a pool too? Oh yeah, a big pool, waterfall. Write it down, buddy. Write it down.
Why do you write it down?
For me, once I think of something, when I write it down, it seems more real because I can go back and I can look at it. You know, Steve Harvey has a motivational script on YouTube. We listen to it. I mean, there was a time we listened to it every day, at least 3 times, to get in your head. And the thing that stuck is, if you don't ask for it, you won't get it. And it sounds so simple, like, all right, what do you mean? So if I don't ask for God to give me this, or I don't ask that, you know what, I need that promotion, I'm not going to get it. You ask not. You have to ask. Ask for it.
Have not because you asked not.
I mean, my son posts that all the time, and he uses it like with anything. Mom, I want this. It's okay. And then once I able to provide, he goes, see, Mom, James 4:2. I said, oh, you're right. You got it. Mm-hmm. But you just shoot, like, go for your dreams. Shoot. I mean, you're not like in basketball, you're not going to get a 3-pointer unless you shoot outside of the free throw line. Like, you have to go back. Just shoot, try. It's anything possible. I mean, it's the United States of America. We can do anything we want to do. Gotta try. You gotta push. You gotta find people that think like you. You gotta find someone that's done it. Copy what they do. You know, grab a little bit from this person, grab a little bit from that person, make your own. Anything is possible. I tell kids all the time. I mean, even people that I work with, never dumb it down. Don't say you just can do this. No, you can't. Oh, I'm just a consultant. No, you can train. Absolutely. If you want to. And if you don't want to, of course you're not going to. So whatever you put in your head, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, they always say, like, if you stub your foot in the morning, it can either start your day bad or it can start your day good. You pick. You stub your toe. If you sit on that, oh, I stubbed my toe, today's going to be bad. It's going to keep going. It's like a domino effect. Mm-hmm. You stub your toe, you're like, you know what? I should have had my shoes on by that time. Okay, keep it moving. You just have to keep going. I mean, everybody gets to little parts in life where it seems like, you know, there's no up from there. That's usually where you're like a lotus flower. You're in this big mud, and all of a sudden there's a beautiful flower out of nowhere. I didn't know that was there. Yeah, it was there. It was right there. It was seeping in, and slowly came up. And you know, you got to think big. Like, you have to. There's so much to do, bro. You know.
I agree. So I agree. I love that. Dream big, write it down, speak positively about yourself. I love all of that. I really do. You know, a lot of times people just don't feel like they're capable of doing the big thing. But follow your dreams. Like you said, follow your dreams. Is there a quote that you live by?
Say a quote that I live by. I wouldn't say there's a quote. There's just little things in life that I now more so believe in. Mm-hmm. Whatever you say you are, no matter what. I believe in whatever you put out to the universe comes back tenfold. Tenfold. Anything that you do. And dream big. Dream big. Ask. Just ask. I mean, It's yes or no. That's a big part. Is just, I mean, if you don't know, ask somebody. I mean, I'm big on that. I mean, I truly, I would say I live by that. If I don't know something, I'm not scared to ask. Somebody knows the answer. Somebody knows the answer. Google, a friend, somebody knows the answer. Just ask. Just ask.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Before we separate, what would you like for anybody watching to take away from your life experiences and from what you know to be true?
Wow, it's a lot. I would say anything in your childhood that you didn't necessarily like or you think could do better, when you grow up, change it because you can. I would say go for your dreams. Go for your dreams, no matter what anybody says about you. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Go for your dreams. Shoot as high as you want. Never let what someone's thoughts or words about you stick. Let it slide off. Never. That's one of the most important parts is, and I've learned that through the years, is not letting words people put on me or my life make who I am. You know what I mean? Stay true to yourself. Love. Say you love. Hug, kiss, call, write. Um, remember important days. Like those are important. Those are very, very important. You know, I mean, hearing those words, not texting, hearing them, it means a lot. It means a lot. And you never know how many lives you're going to change just by saying, hey, I love you. Or, man, I was thinking about you. I mean, nowadays, my friends and I don't get off the phone with, I love you, be safe. Those are words that now mean more to a lot of people than anything. So, I mean, if I could tell anyone, I mean, whether it be a child or an adult, is learn to show love. Learn to show love, learn to receive love,
Mm-hmm.
and work with it. Just, I don't know, it makes me emotional when I just think of how many people like don't hear it and are begging for it. Like just wanting just one person to say, I love you. I mean, when you go to Starbucks and somebody buys your coffee in front of you, oh my God, wow, this stranger basically just said, I love you to me by buying me coffee. You know, the little things in life, like do unto others as you want others do unto you.
Yeah.
You know, that'll take you really, really far in life and save you so much heartache,
Yeah.
for sure.
I agree. I've watched your journey for years now. You are everybody's mom and everybody's daughter. You have more moms than I can count and more kids than I can count. You seem to bring everybody in your circle into your family, and I admire that so much. So
I,
much. Your kids have so much love around them.
and you know what it is that building that is more so that they have what I thought I didn't have, where I have a lot of elders that tag my daughter. I'm not their blood, but I love them. Like I truly love them. I'm down, and I mean, I've had parts of my life where no job, I mean, just had a baby. Like these people stuck by me. Like you're my mom. My sister. Like I have friends who are like sisters. I mean, I've been through hard parts in life, like having a child by myself, losing my job because I was sick, and then having a baby. And I can truly say the village helped me. I mean, from Pampers to clothes to formula, and no job. I have no way of paying them back physically other than loving them. And then knowing that my friends have become like my sisters. I mean, I can tell you there's a great group, about female friends that I probably wouldn't be here after my grandfather passed away if it wasn't for them. I mean, solid, hard rock sisters. And it doesn't take, people always, will say sometimes to me that, well, they aren't our blood. Those people know me.
Right.
Like deep down inside, like love me. I mean, I have friends and their moms. I mean, if they comment on anything on Facebook, thanks, mom, I love you. Those are my moms. Like, it's so important. It's so important.
How did you dig yourself out of that? You know, you just had a baby and you didn't have a job. You know, you seem to be living fine now. You have a nice house for you and your children. They've got a pool swimming in the back. How did you get yourself out of that place from pregnant and unemployed to where Tag is today? What did it take?
It's drive. I can't fail. I can't fail now. I have 2 human beings that I'm responsible for. There's no way I can fail. It's my job to make sure that they have what they need. It's my job to make sure that people around me have what they need. So that drive, I mean, some people ask me, I don't know how you do it. Sometimes I don't either, but I'm telling you, when I say I ask God, like, God, you need to help me. Need to bring me through. I mean, people will say, well, it's not Christian to talk about the universe. I speak to the universe. I need for this to work. I need to be able to provide this. I need this. I want this. And I say it over and over again. And I can truly say, I have never in my life not been able to have. And sometimes it's not myself actually being able to provide it. It's someone. I mean, my water heater broke in my garage, destroyed all my children's books. I mean, hundreds of books. And simple, my friends from work, I mean, outpour of hundreds of books to my house. And people say, well, how do you do that? I didn't. I asked God, I need these books back. And they just came.
I think that might also speak to your giving nature, you know, because like you said, when you put a certain kind of energy out there, you get it back tenfold. And you're a very giving person. You're always giving to somebody, which is why people call you their daughter, which is why you have multiple children that don't share your last name, your blood, or anything, because you're always giving to somebody else. So when you were in need, you got it right back.
You have to. I mean, life is about giving. It's definitely not about receiving. I feel amazing being able to give to someone. I don't want anything back.
Right.
The knowledge of knowing that I made someone happy. Sending someone on Facebook a random gift, like, it feels good. And it's not because, this person, you have more money than this person. No, I can have my last $10. I guarantee me sending somebody a $7 gift, or me buying somebody something, or me just calling and saying what's up, makes me feel a lot better. And trust me, tenfold, it falls back always. I mean, always. Like, for me to be, I thank the universe, I thank God from not working from February to now. We're good. But it's not without me saying at nighttime, thank you, God, for providing. Thank you, God, that I am not sick. And the same thing follows with my kids. It's, my daughter, she's 4 years old. Her grace basically is, thank you, God, for this food. Thank you, God, for not making me sick and helping me not be rude. So it falls into line with,
you gotta love her.
The more you give, your life you'll never not be. You'll never not be without. I mean, I'm telling you, that time in my life where I had a new baby with no job, many other people would fall into a deep, dark depression. But it's finding love with yourself. Second, it would be actually getting love from other people and taking it. I used to be the type of person that I'm not taking anything from anybody. I don't need, but it's like, you know what? No, I do need, like, right now I need it. And being able to accept help from people and not feel guilted into it.
Yeah.
But it's your circle. Like, it's your circle of people that actually truly make you feel that you, on your lowest point, you can do anything. It's just very important to, when you fall into those deep dark moments, and I've had plenty of them. I've had plenty of them. It's finding a way out, whether it be reading your way out, it be taking some time to yourself to have like little meditation sessions and just think, just breathe for a second, that you can make it out. But you have to know the dark sides to know what the good is. Because if you don't, if you've never had both, you don't know what's good and what's bad. You know, so I don't ever want to, I don't regret anything bad that's happened or different instances in my life where I felt that I was at a low, because when I'm at that low, once I pass through and I get to my high, I'm like, girl, you made it, you got it, all right. And that's another like little pat on your back, like, all right, I can do it. And then you help people through those things because you've been through it before. Exactly. You have to, definitely.
Exactly. It's important to always reach back. You know, we all go through struggles, and there's not always somebody to help you through. I know I've gotten a lot of assistance in my life when I've had dark moments. But I also know that there are some people out there that feel like, well, nobody's ever helped me with anything. But I would think they have to look at all the small things too. Maybe you were having a really dark moment where you really, really could have used some help, and nobody was there. But you have to look at the times that people were there, even if it was you needed some eggs or you needed a ride to work or something like that. And maybe that solitary moment that you had where you really thought you needed somebody and they weren't there, maybe it was just to teach you that you just needed you.
That's true.
maybe all you needed was you in that moment to teach yourself that you are strong enough. You know?
That's it. I mean, I'm looking at behind you. You have a like learn, live, hope, follow your path. Like, I mean, that's it. That's it.
I'm still here. You're still here.
You live through them, and you hope you don't have them again. You know, and it's a cycle of life. It teaches you. In order for you to learn a lesson, something has to happen.
Yeah.
You know, never in life has anybody had everything good and they learned from it. Mm-hmm. You stumble, you hit your toe, you say, you know what? I need to pick my foot up over that one. All right, got it. And you go from that one. You have to not necessarily fail. Some people do, in order for you to get back up and go into something new or go into another direction, or know that, all right, that didn't work. Let me try it this way. I mean, look at all the famous people. I mean, guy who had Facebook, Amazon, like they started like by themselves in a little small room. They're multi-million-dollar corporations now that everyone talks about. They failed a lot of times, and they kept pushing because they believed in their own dream.
Yeah.
That's really it.
That's awesome. I think you are the epitome of strength and kindness and giving. I can't wait to see Hidden Footprints. I'm here to help in any way, shape, or form you need me to. I know we're states away, but we're not that far, you know. No. And you need to reach all the nursing homes anyway, so you need to be in the state.
That's it. When you put out Tied Together, I was like, whoa! I was like, that is awesome. I mean, your nonprofit speaks to a group of individuals that need it. And it's not only the boys. I mean, I see you reaching out to everyone. I mean, when you were packing, you know, the goods for different places and for the homeless, and I was like, man, like, to know that I have someone like in my circle that has that same heart, it's powerful. I mean, there aren't people that enjoy the giving and how it feels to actually help someone do something. And I mean, more so because, like, I mean, I know you're a single mom. That's even more so. Like, there's so many kids that will appreciate, I mean, starting as simple as tying a tie. I mean, that starts your future. You know what I mean? That's where it begins. I mean, you're basically tying your life. Like, here's where I start. You know, here I am. I'm presented. And I mean, kudos to you. Definitely kudos to you. I mean, I see that you're gonna be big. I'm telling you. Like, I already know it. I mean, it's it's only a matter of time. It's definitely only a matter of time.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess it runs in the blood. I haven't told the viewers that we are cousins. We are related. So I guess it runs in the blood to just give and take care of people. It's important, especially if you've ever been taken care of, return the favor. And then especially if you've never been taken care of, well, you know how it feels.
Exactly.
Take care of somebody. Take care of somebody. Tagreed, I thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure.
No problem.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to hear more. I cannot wait. And I will have you back on when we have an update.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Tag.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
She kind of taught me that, okay, just go get what you want. Like,
Right.
they're gonna tell you no. So you just go get what you want, what you need. And I've been able to take that since her. She taught me that then, and I've been able to use those teachings to be able to, you know, still go on and continue after. So like, yeah, meeting her is the best thing that ever happened in my life. All right, I did that.
Yeah.
You telling me I can't figure out how to, you know, maneuver and get things done and,
Right.
you know, get myself in a better place. And I believe that shift from the dark to the light is why everything has been able to work since then. So I just started doing my part where I could. If I could pay for a kid, if I could get him some equipment, if I could do things, whatever I could do to help, I did that. And one day I was like, wait, this can actually be a thing. Like, you've been doing it forever. Okay, now put some organization behind it. And the Keep Going Foundation was founded like that. I still do everything under my coach Tim online because I'm not just a football or baseball coach. I'm your local neighborhood coach.